I say good morning, Belize, and good morning, and how are you this morning?
In the heart of Belize's Cayo district lies the twin towns of San Ignacio and Santa Elena, usually known for calm hills, river breezes, and small-town life. But beneath that peace, and something deadly was brewing. By 2019, the streets had turned tense. Rivalries over drugs, respect, and control of the local marijuana trade began to boil over. And what started as small hustles quickly spiraled into one of the most brutal feuds Belize has ever seen: the Trapp and Galindo War. Nelson Flores was a known face in Santa Elena, a man with a reputation. He had been before the courts several times for marijuana charges, and word on the street was he ran his own small network. But on a dark night in 2019, that business and his life came to an end. Reports say Flores was ambushed right inside his home. Gunshots tore through the air, leaving him dead on the spot. Even worse, his 12-year-old daughter was also hit in the attack.
36-year-old Nelson Flores is dead, and his 12-year-old daughter is in a stable condition at the Western Regional Hospital. Both of them were shot last night inside their Santa Elena residence on George Price Avenue. It was a horrific scene that has left the entire family shaken up. Reports are that sometime around 9 p.m. last night, a lone gunman entered the house while Flores was in his living room watching TV. At the time, his wife and 12-year-old daughter were inside the kitchen. His 14-year-old son was inside the yard, and 3 of his children were inside their bedrooms asleep. The gunman reportedly entered the house after a brief scuffle with Flores' 14-year-old son inside the yard. He then went directly towards Flores and shot him in the head multiple times. Flores' wife reportedly took cover under the kitchen table. His daughter was shot to the chest while she attempted to escape through the back door.
After days of investigation, police moved in on their suspect, George Jorge Galindo. Galindo, a name already whispered in the West, was charged and later convicted for the murder of Nelson Flores and the shooting of his young daughter. But this wasn't just justice being served. This was the spark that would ignite a war. Months later, violence came knocking at the Galindo family's own door. Around midnight, gunmen stormed the Galindo residence, opening fire. Bullets riddled the home. A teenager was shot in the back, and Myrna Young, mother of George Galindo, was killed.
6 was gunned down on Wednesday night inside her house on Parish Street in Santa Elena, Cayo. Around 8:30 p.m., her son and a friend, Angel Martinez, were standing inside the fenced yard when 2 men rode up on a motorbike. A gunman alighted and opened fire on the unsuspecting duo. They ran to evade their attacker, but the gunman pursued them behind the house. As the gunman escaped from the residence, he would open fire into the house that was occupied by Young, her mother, and grandchildren. Young and Martinez were struck by bullets. While Martinez is in a stable condition, Young perished at the hospital. The blood trail in the yard and the bullet-ridden walls are telltale signs of the tragic incident. But what could have triggered the gun violence? It is known that Myrna's son, Jorge Galindo, was recently arraigned and remanded to Central Prison for the murder of Nelson Flores, who was shot and killed inside his house a couple blocks away from the most recent homicide. Residents and the family believe that the incidents are related. While police would not confirm whether Wednesday night's shooting is retaliatory, ACP Joseph Mivett says that they are looking at all angles.
Police rounded up suspects, among them a well-known local footballer, Wendell Trapp. But Trapp, who denied any involvement, told friends he already knew the danger, that once your name get called, that's game over.
Happened over the Galindos then Thursday morning, and I had to tell them that I never did a song now, so I play football at Verdes. I do it Wednesday night. I left from Cayo 5 o'clock, and I reached La Belmopon after 6. and I stay from after 6, then I reach back home after 2. And when they come for me, I had to tell them that then they put me in the eyes to the next family, because then they put my life in a jeopardy. I don't explain to them, I tell them why I'm there, you understand? So I had to tell them, if one to carry me right now, I make them, but I think I got someone to do that now. End of the day, then young boy, they threaten my family, and they say all kind of things. But that to me is that the police this happen, because they don't have to carry me, because I don't tell them why I'm there, and my manager and my staff them they right there, and I don't hurt my foot. The Tuesday I hurt my foot, and I can't walk. And Mr. Perez carry me to the hospital, and I in a wheelchair there, and I can't walk, and I tell them that now they hold me for a 48, and then hold me and let go me Sunday. Now when I come out now, my family, and they tell me that they young boy they send threat and all kind of thing to my family, but I blame this on the police, because they tell me I'm innocent and why am I there.
Days later, Wendell's cousin Johnson Trapp was charged for Myrna Young's murder, setting the stage for what the town would soon call the Wild Wild West, bringing the beef between the two set of families to the spotlight.
Trapp was taken to the magistrate's court earlier today, where he was charged with the murder of Myrna Young. While Trapp was being escorted out of the station by police, he and his father had a few words to say.
You want anything else? You policeman? What want to say?
Yeah, my bless me. Just killing my family wrong, you dig? And I put my problem, my people in a trick, you dig?
Yeah.
You dig? And everybody know where they're going, you never call up my name, like, and they know where they're going, you dig?
Yeah.
You dig? Innocently, G.
After that, the streets were on edge. Rumors of retaliation filled every bar, every corner shop. Then, it happened. One of San Ignacio's worst shooting incidents unfolded. Gunfire erupted, leaving 2 dead and 3 more wounded. Among the victims was none other than Wendell Trapp.
Wendell Trapp, Talisha McKay, Marquez Roberto. We're all sitting inside a red Toyota Corolla right here in front of CK's Sports Bar, while PC Danny Jimenez was standing outside of the vehicle speaking to someone inside. That is when a single gunman approached the vehicle and began firing indiscriminately at and into the vehicle. The target of this latest shooting is believed to have been Wendell Della Trapp, who was murdered during this incident. Trapp's very own aunt, Sharon Roberto, tells us that he was no saint, a no-nonsense guy.
I won't be the type that will stand up and say, oh, my nephew never this and my nephew never that. My nephew wasn't any saint. I won't say he wasn't any. I won't say he was a saint. He wasn't a saint. He's the type that, would defend himself, and he's the type that he's a no-nonsense person, then I would put it that way.
And when you put it that way, it is not hard to believe that someone may have been after Trapp. Ishmael Thompson, chairman of Esperanza Village and uncle to deceased Wendell Trapp, spoke candidly to Plus News about a string of ruthless misfortunes that dates back to September 18, 2019, when 58-year-old Myrna Young was murdered in Santa Elena.
I guess probably about 9 months or maybe a year ago, I had an incident where they killed a young lady, right? I think then Galindo's mother. And after that, Mr. Chester brought the two parties to the table, and I can remember, we were there, and the Galindos were there too, and he said he wanted this thing stopped, because then if it continues, then he'll bring on the pressure upon both parties, and so at that meeting there, the Galindos they said to Mr. Chester, and Mr. Jemot was also there. And he said to them, listen, it is not Mr. John Trapp, it's not Mr. John Trapp's son, right? I am John Trapp. It's not Mr. John Trapp's son that killed my mother, all right? Right there he said that. So he said, if this continue, he said he'll bring pressure on both parties, right? After that, about 3 months and a half ago now, they killed my son at PG, right? This have to do with that. And then now the killing with nephew gone. So it's just continuing.
Police moved swiftly. arresting 2 men believed to be connected. But the bigger shock came days later when David and Myrna Galindo, brothers of convicted killer George Galindo, were charged with conspiracy to commit murder. The cycle of revenge had reached full circle. The Trapps and the Galindos, 2 families now locked in bloodshed, each believing they were answering violence with justice. Then in 2021, not long after getting bail, David Galindo was walking near his home when gunfire rang out again. The target, him. He was hit multiple times but survived. Police investigations pointed toward one familiar name, Giovanni Trapp, a relative of Wendell Trapp, who was later charged for the shooting.
Person who fired several shots in his direction. One of those shots which caught him. As a result, he was transported to the San Ignacio Community Hospital and later to the Western Regional Hospital, where he is now in a stable condition. Police have 2 persons in our custody, and it is expected that later today charges will be preferred against those persons.
A motive for that shooting, sir?
We do believe that it is an ongoing dispute that the Galindos have had since the last 2 years with another group.
Sir, this particular Galindo, was he recently released from some other charge connected to some deadly shooting?
Yes, he was on bail for some other charges for which he was remanded.
The West was drowning in gun smoke. Retaliations came like clockwork. Families were being torn apart. Mothers were losing sons, and a community was living in fear. Then in 2023, the cycle came full circle once more. David Galindo, sitting with his girlfriend at a fast food joint, was ambushed. Multiple shots. He was rushed to the hospital, clinging to life. When word spread that David had survived, his friends and family flooded the hospital. Witnesses said emotions ran high, and even doctors were threatened to save his life.
Saturday night, resulting in 1 man being critically injured. Around 11:30 on June 1st, multiple shots rang out on Salazar Street in Santa Elena town in the Cayo district. According to reports, 40-year-old David Galindo and his girlfriend were sitting in front of a building when a black vehicle sped towards the residence. The girlfriend hid behind a wall and several shots were fired before the vehicle sped off towards George Price Highway. Galindo was critically injured and was rushed to the San Ignacio Community Hospital. Assistant Commissioner of Police Hilbert Romero spoke to the media today about this shooting incident.
David Galindo with gunshot injuries. He was rushed for medical treatment. Investigations that Galindo was at a fast food place at the area when a vehicle arrived with several male persons. One of the male persons got out of the vehicle and fired several shots towards Galindo, causing his injury. Galindo is presently receiving treatment in a critical condition.
David was transferred to the Western Regional Hospital, but after days of battling for survival, he succumbed to his injuries. The feud had claimed yet another soul. The Wild West War had written its final line. The Trapp and Galindo conflict left deep scars across the twin towns. Fear, retaliation, and pain woven into the streets of San Ignacio and Santa Elena. Behind every name, Flores, Young, Trapp, Galindo, were families. People who once shared the same neighborhoods, same dreams, same struggles. At the end of the day, every shot fired leaves a story behind, and every story deserves to be told. This is the Beard Man, bringing light to the shadows of Belize. One story at a time. Respect, stay safe, and until next time, thanks for joining the Beard Man.